Good morning. Good morning.
Well, good morning to you too.
It's a good start. I don't even know what time it is. I think it's 7 p.m. and we are here at Authors Up, and we are inviting you in and thanking you in advance for joining us this evening. We have a wonderful show tonight because we have an amazing couple who's going to be sharing some things with us, and we are glad that they are going to become part of the Authors Up family. They don't really know that yet, but sometimes you grab people and adopt them into your family, and it takes them a while to know what happened. But, but that's how much we have come to love this couple, because they have some great nuggets for us tonight, and we want you to be ready. We want you to, if you can have access to pen and paper, whatever you like to take notes on, this would be that kind of evening. So let my co-hosts introduce themselves tonight. Let's start with Ruth. Hey, Ruth.
Hi. So sorry. I just, I feel like it's been a day and just getting to this point was just, like fighting battles and monsters and just, you know
Oh,
what? I'm happy to be here. I'm Ruth Griffin and I am happy to be here and I welcome all our guests. That's just where I'm at.
We're glad you're here too, Ruth, and
Thank you.
we
yes, we
won't
missed
even
you last
ask
week.
about the lights and the darkness.
Don't.
We won't even touch that tonight.
Oh, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
And you, Queen Victoria, how are you doing?
She's still
60
sexy and
and
fabulous.
fabulous. She is still fabulous, guys. So you know we don't know what to expect. And look at
Oh
there,
Lord.
a homemade crown. It just doesn't get any better.
There you
Thank
go.
you. Thank you, Queen Victoria. And
Okay.
whisper if you must.
Yes, I'm not sure what's going on in my throat tonight, so I'm going to probably be quiet a lot tonight. But I didn't want to miss the show because of our wonderful, wonderful guests. But I'm okay. Welcome everybody. Hey, cousin Serena, thank you for being.
Hey, Serena, good to have you in. And there's Angie O out of South Carolina. Good evening to you, Angie. Thank you for being with us tonight. Look, this is a program for everybody, as they
Yes,
say. It's a
it is.
everybody program, a program that everybody can benefit from. So if there's somebody that you want to bring on, be sure to go on out there and share so that they can be partakers of what we have for you this evening. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I was getting ready to say as we usually do, but this has been an unusual Sunday, so I don't know that I can say it that way, but we're going to start kind of with the same pattern. I think I'll go with that. Good evening, Laurie. Thank you for being with us tonight. Okay, let's do our weekend review. Ruth, oh Ruth, why don't you start?
I am currently in a black hole. So I think I've shared my husband works for news media. So, and you all remember, I was having a little trouble with the lighting a few weeks ago. And I said, oh, I'm going to have this fixed by the time I come back. And I called him in here probably about 30 minutes ago and he decided to fix it. So he put together a backdrop. I am currently surrounded by about 6 lights. So you guys can see me now.
Right.
This will not be the case next week. I'm gonna figure out something else. But yes, that's why I'm in the black hole that I am. So um
Go, Maurice. Great job. Great job.
We can see her
at least you
beautiful
can see
hair.
me now.
Yeah,
Yes, you
her
can see
hair
my
is so beautiful.
beautiful hair. So my week though. I wasn't here last week.
I
So
missed you.
yes, my dad had surgery. It went well. He
Good.
is back to his grumpy self, which I didn't realize until I spent like 4 days with him that he was that grumpy.
Oh,
Um, and that's okay, I guess. He's allowed to be at this age, but
okay.
it- so it was stent surgery. I'm not sure if you're aware what that is. They put a little stent in your veins to remove
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
blockage out.
Yes.
So all of that went successful. They couldn't discharge him. He's a veteran, so he was at the VA. Couldn't discharge him until he saw the surgeon, right? And his first question, I kid you not, my father has been smoking since the age of 11. Um, his first question was, "What is going to happen when I go home and light up a cigarette?" Yeah, his doctor was very gracious. But I just sat there like this. I'm like, "Oh."
Right. My God, just, oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, so, yeah, so he's home. He's back to his grumpy self, smoking less, so that's a good
Well,
thing.
good. Well, good.
I have a 4-year-old sister, and she was just a doll. She literally ran into my arms.
Oh,
Oh,
Uh, um, yeah, it was a good trip, and it was good, just hanging out with my dad, and my sister and, all family and stuff, so it was a good
that's
trip.
very good.
Yep,
awesome.
so that was
Awesome.
the week. Victoria, you wanna recap really quick?
Real quick, real quick. Still celebrating my birthday. That's last Sunday was my birthday, in case anybody missed it. And just trying to stay healthy. My youngest had COVID, and I've taken three tests now, and it's all negative. Then I started talking today, and now my throat's gone, and I still have the sniffles and not feeling 100%. But I'm just grateful to be here. So my week was I worked, and that's it. But I'm just grateful to be here. That's all I can say. And good evening, everybody. Lynn came in, and Sam came in. Thank you, Sam and Linda. Hi, everybody. Just grateful to be here tonight. That's all I can
Okay,
say.
that was not brief, Victoria.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, we're glad that you made it in, Queen Victoria.
Yes, we are. You just
That
you can save your
you
voice. It's
you
okay.
made it in, and we pray that you're going to continue to
Yes.
feel better, feel better. Um, let's see, my week in review, mostly centered around health stuff. Um, I am continuing with therapy, with physical therapy,
Mhm.
and they gave me a cane, but they didn't tell me how to use it, and I was very gracious in telling them that I probably won't. it's it's more of a problem to me than it is a help to me. So we're going to work out some other things and see what else we can do.
Oh,
And
so you're not listening to them, huh? Okay.
yeah, it wasn't. We just, I realize I'm not that coordinated. You would think that it wouldn't be a big deal, but for me, I'm like, no, I don't think this is going to work out too good. But and they did where I thought it was supposed to be a 4 week process. They told me this time, oh, it'll probably take you about 8 weeks, and I thought,
Oh,
oh no, I got
okay.
things to do. So I'm being very diligent and doing what they tell me to do, and I know that I've got I've got to get around. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. But all in all, it was a feel good week. I got to minister this morning to an organization, and that started my day off. So it started off on a good note and an up
Good.
note, and God's good. And so
Amen.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we are all together again.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I am extremely happy that we have wonderful, wonderful guests with us tonight. And we're
Mhm.
going to start reading their bio. These are phenomenal people, guys. So you got to sit back and listen to what all these folk have done. So, Ruth, you want to get started?
Sure thing. Frank K. Aucoin is the president and co-founder of multiple successful businesses, including Sign It Quick Incorporated, a graphic sign company with several licensed locations across the Southeast, and Performance International Incorporated, a marketing and sales company which encompasses the Legal Shield business with over 90,000 sales associates and over 6 million in personal commissions. Also included in Frank's real estate portfolio are more than 40 residential and commercial properties. A highly sought after speaker and trainer, Frank held the position of vice president for a New York Stock Exchange company, Prepaid Legal of South Carolina, for over 17 years. In recognition of Frank's success in entrepreneurship, He has received both the Charleston and South Carolina Small Business Person of the Year awards from the Chamber of Commerce and the U.S. Small Business Administration.
Theresa Aucoin is a graduate of Georgia Southern University with a master's in education, specializing in learning disabilities and special education. During her 8-year tenure as a special education teacher, Theresa authored and published the Specific Learning Disabilities Resource Program Curriculum Guide, illustrating her love and devotion for both children and teaching. While working together in their Legal Shield business, Theresa contributed to these books: The Absolute Best Way in the World for Women to Make Money. If you don't have that one, that sounds like one we need to get. Okay. Become the Leader You Were Meant to Be, and Pathway to Platinum. Learning to be an effective landlord for their RentNet LLC business has been a new challenge for Theresa, one that she values greatly and looks forward to passing on to their children. Following her life's passion for health and wellness, Theresa earned and received a certification in nutritional counseling, not for income producing ventures, but simply following her life's joy and passion. I'm sorry, and purpose. Passion too, I think. I'll put that in there. She was featured in Live More magazine in a 2-page spread on health and wellness. Nutrition sets the stage. She has also lectured to many audiences on topics of wealth building and on topics of health and vitality.
Frank and co-author Theresa have been married for more than 50 years, and they are the proud parents of 2 adult children and even prouder grandparents. They currently reside in Charleston, South Carolina, where Frank is cited as one of the area's most enterprising business minds and was named one of the top 50 entrepreneurs in the entire United States. After this brief break, you will get to meet our guests for the evening, Frank and Theresa Aucoin.
Great. Okay.
Welcome.
We are back.
Hey, Frank,
Welcome.
Theresa, good evening to you.
Well, thank you all.
Hello, we're
Thanks
so-
for that introduction. I mean, that was wonderful.
I know. We're so honored to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Oh, you are
Yeah.
welcome. We're happy to have you. All right, we're going to get started. You know, the title of your book is very self-explanatory, but let's take a step back and have you tell us what your book is about and why you decided to write it.
Do your version, I'll do my version. Yeah, you do a version. Good.
Okay, well, 10 Legacy Lessons of Wealth are so many of the concepts and philosophies that in our 51 years of marriage that we have lived by and evolved and developed. We didn't start out with these, certainly, but they certainly have evolved. And over the years, I've witnessed Frank speaking to large audiences and speaking one-on-one to people. And all these topics, if you will, all these philosophies, these concepts come up over and over. And so that's what the book's about. It's about, this is a combination. If you were to follow Frank around for the past 10 years, maybe, you would find each one of these concepts with someone on a napkin where they were taking notes or over the phone, conversation. And so I'm just so glad that we've culminated all that all together, and it's in one place. And there's more that we probably should have put in there, but these are the main things.
Yeah, there's hundreds of more stories. Yeah. If y'all like the stories, there's hundreds more we couldn't get in there.
We like them.
Well, I really appreciate it.
All right,
Yeah,
Frank, what is your version?
we were so busy kind of building our businesses, and we were speaking a lot. You know, we were probably speaking 3 or 4 times a week
Sometimes.
on the internet or in person. You know, we had audiences like at the MGM with 16,000 people we were teaching, and that's a big audience. I mean, it's 16,000. You know, down to 5 or 6 or 2 or 1, and they would always say things like, you know, Frank, how do you go from where I'm at, you know, to wealthy? And when I explained it to them, it's so simple. They just would write it down, and I kept drawing pictures and stuff. There's some illustrations in the book.
Yeah.
And so over the years, everybody kept saying, Frank, you got to put this in a book somewhere. You got to put this in a book someplace. Well, I think you read in the story. I didn't learn to read until I was 31 years old. I never read one word. And Theresa, being a special ed teacher, I think God led her directly to me to help me. And then once I learned how to read, the first thing I did was open a bookstore, and then a chain of bookstores. And we took that from zero to a couple $100 million over the years. And we just had to keep teaching these principles to the people who work for us and the associates and friends. So people just kept saying, you know, you got to write a book. That was the furthest thing from my mind, was writing a book. And the reason is, I said, you know, who would really need this? And then I said, and what is the evidence that it works? And when we look back, and we talked about this the other day, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people now who are financially independent because of this stuff in this book.
Wow.
And I thought, well, it would be good to put that in there. So we had a ball writing the book. We had a great time. We had a lot of help.
Took over a year.
Yeah, it took about a year and 6 months, I guess. Sometimes it was a mind enema. I mean, you just have to really work on this thing. Yeah, and between working on all the other businesses that we have and this, I kind of felt like an octopus in heat. You know, I just grabbing for everything and trying to get all this stuff worked out. But it's all worked out fine, and the book is doing great. Amazon's actually sold out 4 times now.
Wow.
Which is pretty incredible. I mean, you know what?
Either that or they just didn't order many. I don't know.
Or maybe they did just order one at a time. I don't know. But Amazon, you know, it just got this. But people were, you know, ordering like 5 and 10 and 20 books at a time to give away to their employees. You know, just like you were saying, you want to give it to your grandkids and some friends. So we've been really blessed, to be honest with y'all. I never thought. I think this is an evergreen book. I think the principles in there are 6,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to go away. There's a lot of things going to change. Like in chapter 10, if you haven't read that yet or listened to it on the audio.
Legacy lesson number 10.
Yeah, legacy lesson number 10 is all the stuff that's going to change, but some things are not going to change. That is a really good. The only way to get to that legacy lesson 10 is to go in and register, or if you get the Audible, you will hear it on Audible.
But it's online on Aucoin.com. That whole chapter.
That whole
is there.
chapter is, and
Yeah.
also down there they can download about 70 posters of concepts and mindsets of the wealthy. So it's all free. That stuff's free. So it's just a bonus.
All
I
right.
got my copy. I must say, I already downloaded mine. Mhm.
Oh, did you? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I am so excited for you.
All right. So let's talk about the process, because like you said, you know, this is, you know, over 50 years worth of information. How did you sit down and decide this is what I'm going to include? This is not what I'm going to include.
Ruth, I'll tell you, if you looked in my office, which just happens to be a fireplace, I probably have 30,000 3x5 cards, and I probably write 5 or 10 a day of just thoughts that come to me, or concepts or principles.
Uh-huh.
You know, if you get the right mindset, then you build a skill set, then you can build the asset. And so I build everything around that. What is the mindset? Then what is the skill set or talent you need to develop to now build the asset? And I had to go through thousands of cards. Good girl. I had to go through thousands of cards because it is a real choice, because literally I could just do thousands of little mindsets. and decide which would be the easiest for people to take in. I didn't try to get too complicated because I try to clarify, simplify, and unclutter everything. I take all the mysteries out of everything.
Okay.
Just like how do you get rich? Don't do what the masses do. Just supply what the masses buy.
Mm, 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 mm.
That's
Okay.
a
Love
pretty
it.
interesting concept.
Love it.
97% of the people in the world out there, 97% of them are poor middle class. I know because that's where we started. Our family started like that. We were like that. 97% of us are poor middle class. And they go to work every day, 5 or 6 days a week, for 41 years doing something they can't own, can't sell, and can't leave to their family. That never made sense to me. And when they go to work, they look at the world and say, what can I buy?
Mhm.
Get another check, they look at the world and say, what can I buy? And rich people don't do that. We don't do that. We look at the world and say, what can we supply? And if all you're doing is look at the world and buying, you're going to be crying. But if you're looking at the world and supplying, you will be flying. You will know that the only people who are wealthy in this world, and there's only 3%, and only 1% are ultra wealthy, in the billions. But the only way to make money, there's two things to this. The only way to make money, I want to frame this differently so it really hits home. There are currently 9 billion people on Earth.
Okay.
All 9 billion either have a problem or are going to have a problem. I don't know a single soul that doesn't have a problem are going to have a problem.
That's right.
And poor people run from problems, and rich people run to problems to solve those people's problems. And the only way that you, an architect, a lawyer, a plumber, a ditch digger, a nurse, a podcaster, the only way you make money is to solve another person's problems. And if you don't solve a problem, there's no reason for them to open their wallet and give you their money.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Yes, it does.
You literally have to just boil it down to the simplest thing. Tell me what product or service or opportunity that you're supplying to people and how many you're supplying, and I'll tell you how rich you're going to get. And there's one other thing I wanted to put in there too. And it'll come to me. I'm like Ruth right now. I'm in the dark here.
It's okay.
Oh, you know what? You
Yeah,
got
man.
about 20 minutes to think about it. So
I'm
you're
good.
good.
We're going to come back to it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on a little here.
All right. Frank, that was,
I'll give you another concept on this too.
go ahead.
I was studying this the other day. I said there's 9 billion people on Earth. They've estimated that there's been 190 billion people on Earth that's come and gone.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all those people that's come and gone, 191 billion, 190 billion, this is going to be interesting. Only 4 million of them have ever climbed Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
4 million. Now, what has that got to do with anything? Well, here's the comparison. Every day in America, as of this year, every day in America, 1,700 people become millionaires. 1,700 per day.
Mm.
That is 620,500 people a year become millionaires. And every one of those people had to do the same thing that those people that climbed the mountain did. They all had to learn how to climb that mountain. They had to practice every day. It took them a long time to learn it. And the same thing is true with millionaires. There is no learning gap. There's no earning gap. There is a learning gap.
Mm-hmm.
No one is born knowing how to make money. Bill Gates, not Warren Buffett, not the founder of Google, not the founder of Amazon, not Elon Musk. He did not know. He was born naked, broke, and ignorant. He did not know anything. Every one of us who becomes rich has to learn how to become rich. And it's very easy to learn how to become rich. Just read to 10 Legacy Lessons of Wealth.
Okay.
But if you are smart, there's companies out there, and I've done thousands of talks to CEOs. I mean, major companies and stuff. Those people are no smarter than you are. They're great in their field, but you ask them about something else, they're as ignorant as the rest of us. They know, they studied their talent and their skill, and they get really good at it. And now they can, supply products to people. And people, I'm going to slow down here because I'm rushing you. We said the only way to make money is to solve a person's problem.
That's right.
You got to supply a solution to that problem. And there's only 3 problems that people have. Everybody has the same 3 problems.
Mm-hmm.
And you can write this down. They're either trying to get something, keep something, or get rid of something. They're trying to get it, keep it, or get rid of it. They're either trying to get water, keep water, or get rid of water. They're trying to get hair, keep hair, or get rid of hair. Trying to get a car, keep a car, get rid of a car. They're trying to get a house, keep a house, get rid of a house. They're trying to get kids, keep kids, or get rid of your kids. Or they're trying to get a spouse, keep a spouse, or you know what.
That's right. That's right.
If your product or service helps someone get it, keep it, or get rid of it, you can make a fortune because you have solved their problem.
Right.
They will go out and work their butts off all week and then come home, open their wallet, and give it to you if you solve a problem. Every day we have problems in all our businesses. I mean, literally every single day we got all these businesses. We get hit with problems every day. So it's easier to become a millionaire than it is to climb Mount Everest.
Wow.
And if you can tie your shoes or ride a bike or learn how to drive a car, you can learn how to become wealthy because it's that simple. We call it an ELF business, easy, lucrative, and fun. It's so easy to learn it. You simply have to get a skill or talent that solves another person's problems, and you can just provide that service and become wealthy. Does that make any sense whatsoever?
Perfect.
Absolutely.
He's
And I will
dropping
tell you
nuggets.
what, I will say this. I am the type of learner, I like to break things down to their most basic form. And that was about as palatable as baby food. So
Mhm.
if you're not getting it, that's another problem. That's somebody else. That's a problem someone else needs to solve. So awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad you like it, Ruth.
Absolutely. So Theresa, obviously you are a seasoned author already. So when this project came to fruition, how did you 2 work together to get it done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There would be no book without Theresa. I mean, I'm just telling you. I can barely spell my name. I don't read very well yet. So without her, this would not exist. So let me just take from my point of view. Okay.
Okay.
It was definitely teamwork, Ruth. It was.
We loved it.
Yeah, we would sit at the downstairs in the kitchen on the counter. I'd have my laptop, and he would talk, and I would type. Pretty much.
That's it.
You asked how we decided what to put in the book. I remember us making a massive list of all these concepts and all these stories that. I mean, Frank is such a good storyteller, and then we would select the ones that we didn't want in the book and the ones we wanted in the book, and then we would start writing about them. And we did use, I guess you'd call her an editor. Do y'all know who Simon Bailey is? He's an author.
They got 10 books out.
Oh, yeah, y'all need to know him. You would love him.
He was an executive at Disney for a long time.
His books.
Simon Bailey. I'm going to tell you, if you have him on your show, you'll forget about us.
Yeah, you will.
No.
He was very instrumental in guiding us to good people to help us with the editing and writing of the book and the formatting and the proofreading.
And
y'all know.
And the artwork.
And the artwork. Yeah. No, we found our son found the artist. So anyway, it was definitely it was over a year-long project, and it was, it was great. It was great. It was so great to have Frank tell these stories, and me knowing that as I type them, and then they go through all those processes that we have to put our words through to make sure that they make sense, we're not redundant, and all that kind of stuff. But as we were doing that, it was just so satisfying to me to know that these concepts were going to be in a book for generations to come.
We wanted it first for our family.
Yeah,
we
selfishly, we did.
Yeah, I really wanted our grandchildren and our children, grandchildren, great grandchildren to know where all this wealth came from, because they're going to get it. I mean, but if they don't know how hard it was to make, they won't know how to do it. They won't know how to duplicate it. So and also picking out the guy that does the Audible. I mean, that guy.
Yeah, we did the.
Oh my gosh!
We had a lot of auditions through that process.
50 different people.
Yeah, and we got a good one for the Audible. So
yeah.
So anyway,
Bruce Murdoch.
It was,
if there weren't somebody do Audible, Bruce Murdoch.
Yeah, he was good.
Unbelievable.
We liked him. Yeah. So it's been a passion project, and it's been awesome. So.
Okay. So is there going to be 10 more lessons?
Ruth, there could be a lot more lessons. I think I'll be naming it something. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to break the book up.
Okay.
And where people can just give out the 5 hinges, or how to become people's trusted advisor. There's some in there I didn't put in there. Life's merry-go-round is incredible. It's in the book.
That's in there.
The merry-go-round that turns into the scary-go-round. And, is what you're putting on your merry-go-round saving you or enslaving you? Because some things you put in your life, enslave you for years.
Yeah.
Right now, they're starting to finance houses for 40 and 45 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the new mortgage companies do. Now,
yeah.
You have to work for 40 something years to get that paid off. Where you can learn how to not do that. And I'm not saying about house, because we buy houses. But there's so many things in the book that I'd like to separate so people can just buy that one individual thing.
Okay.
Like making 20 pages, 30 pages a piece.
Right.
And then there's other things I didn't put in there, like Life's Teeter-Totter, which is incredible. There's just 100 concepts that's not in the book yet.
I like that yet. All right.
And I've just got so I might just keep the cards and write them down and let Theresa do it. Because at my age, you're getting old. I mean, I'm over 80. You're getting old when your walker has like airbags on it.
I've never heard of that one.
I went to get a blood test, and she said, "Frank, we no longer have blood like that. We canceled that blood test. It's obsolete. You're getting old when your blood type's obsolete." So I got to get this stuff done, girl.
Well, I'm gonna say my part now. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book. It is amazing. It is an amazing book. And I told them I have 3 copies in my Amazon cart waiting on my payday, so I can give them to all my girls, because it's amazing. It's lessons that they need to.
I'm proud of it. And anytime y'all want an autographed copy, you let us know. We'll send it to you personally. Okay.
All right.
You got it.
Y'all just get us, text us your address.
Okay.
And your phone number, where all your tattoos are, and
See, we like to say that we like to hear the authors tell their stories, and as you're talking, I can hear you reading the book, and you definitely put yourself into this book. Y'all got to get it. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you trying, Ruth. I don't mean Vanessa. Victoria, with your voice like it is.
Okay, I'll be Vanessa tonight. It's all right.
Okay, babe.
Oh, we haven't had. Look, we went from Victoria to Veronica. Now it's Vanessa.
Okay,
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Yeah, y'all don't know. She's got many lives.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
All right, Andrea, when you're done laughing, what questions do you have for our guests?
I'm like, Frank, I swear I had something to say, but I can't remember what it was.
She's still stuck at the
Would you like me to
airbag.
fill in for you?
Oh my
We can
goodness.
talk about the
Oh,
walker, maybe give you some pointers for the kids.
Andrew, I'll ask myself a question if you like.
well, one thing for sure, I know you got the answer. So I wouldn't have to worry about that part.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know that one of my questions was about, how you decided and how you made the decision to put these 10 things in the book, because I feel like there is so much more. But I do want to say that this could not be, and there are lots of books out there by lots of authors who talk about wealth. But I have never read anything as clear, concise, easy to read, wanting to digest. And while you are going to segment some of this into their own separate books, which I think is a wonderful idea, the thing about this book that I liked was that if you can think, audience, of a book about wealth being a page turner, this is it. Because every time you went into a new lesson and all, I couldn't wait to get to the next one. I couldn't wait to see, what the next strategy was going to be, or what the next story was going to be. And it was so simple. It was so simple that at the end of the read, at the end of the book, at the end of the whole process of it, you do sit and say to yourself, and why not me? And why
One with you.
Because it is they're not things that you haven't heard necessarily, but there are things that you haven't heard in a way that makes you say, I can do this.
Yes.
I can actually do this. And I know when I was going through coaching certification, one of the things that they would say all the time is, what problem are you solving?
Right.
And the realization on the other side when you were giving the statistics is that some people are always going to be buyers. Always going to be buyers. That audience is always going to be there. That group of people is always going to be there or the world would be full of people, who get the wealth, because it comes in all shapes and sizes, like you were saying. But the way that you have positioned all of these great things that you have in this book is something that I didn't get when I was younger. I'm up there with you, Frank, because I'm in my 70 somethings, and
You look good.
thank you. Sometimes you have that tendency to say, it's too late.
Right.
Oh, no.
I wish I had done it then, but now it's too late. And it's not too late. I'm telling you, the things that you have in this book, part of them I'm living already anyway. I just may not have it in the right space. I may not have it in the right place. My mind may need to be tweaked in a particular area. My thought process needs to change a little bit. But let me tell you, come January, is my little grandson would say, come January, there's going to be some changes. The changes that I know that I can make. So when you are talking about the number of people that you've helped and the number of people who have benefited from your book, I am saying to our audience tonight, when Victoria says get the book, and actually, Victoria, Laurie said it before you did.
She did. Get the book.
She put it out there, and she
I
said,
told her about the book earlier in the week. I said, you got to get this book.
yeah, and that's one of our listeners. So we have plans to share, and we haven't got them all together yet. But I encourage our audience to keep listening. While you're listening, be sure that you're reading the book and applying what you are going to see in the book. Now, there's one thing. Oh, Trelyn, one of our listeners says, got the book. Just got it, the Audible version. We'll listen when the show ends. Thank you.
Good.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We tell them to get it. We don't know whether they got it or not. But when somebody comes back online and says, I got it, I'm reading it, and then, I will do this.
Yes, they got it.
That is amazing. Let me tell you, that is amazing. And the delight that you bring in just talking about it, let me tell you guys, you're going to feel that same way when you are reading this book and when you are getting these principles as part of you, because it will become a part of you.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
One thing. I want to add one thing. One of the statements that got me was, think about your mindset. Like, you got to change your mind. And this statement, I wrote it out. You said, hell on earth would be meeting the person I could have been.
Yeah. Several people have mentioned that. Now, wouldn't that be terrible? God's going to be mad at you if you don't do this thing now. He gave you the gift. He gave you the talent. He gave you the skills. If you don't do it, a lot of people are searching for wealth. And what they don't realize is that 9 billion people are searching for help. All these people are looking for, for wealth. There's 9 billion looking for help. If you help them solve a problem, you've done your job. They're either going to get it, do something to get, keep, or get rid of it. It's simple.
And somebody asked,
have all the talent in the world. You 3 girls are very talented, and there's thousands and millions of people who you could help, and you are helping.
Yeah.
Just by having this show, it's not just sharing our book, but all the other books that you shared with people. It's helping people, and the ripple effect of what y'all doing, you'll never know the results of that, but it will show up for generations.
Thank you.
And somebody asked what the name of the book is again. And the name of it, Angie, is 10 Legacy Lessons of Wealth. 10 Legacy Lessons of Wealth.
And I put it in the comments.
Yeah.
And just go to frankaucoin.com. Just go to frankaucoin.com. It'll show you everything.
There you go. Everybody's got that. Everybody's got that. Look, let me tell you, this time just went by too fast.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just went by too fast. And I know this is the point that we're supposed to stop. But when it's your program, guess what? We get to do it the way we want to do it. But I really want you to mention, and briefly, if you can, because it is a section unto itself. But if you could just give our listeners and viewers just a snippet of the 5 hinges and what that means.
Okay, the 5 hinges is 5 small things that can open every door in life to you. It'll open doors you don't even know exist now. And we've all heard sections of these. But if you would just teach people to be respectful to everybody, especially children. Yes, ma'am, pardon me, excuse me, my pleasure, my honor. Look people in the eye and listen more than you talk. Just respect everybody. I don't care if it's a janitor or the president. That doesn't matter to me. Because I've been to the White House to meet the president, and I've been a janitor. So it's all right. You just need to respect everybody. And then show up on time and be prepared. If you just show up on time and you're prepared, you won the lottery, because most people won't. How many of us have been waiting for a repairman or somebody to say they're going to be here at 10 or 5, and they're going to go someplace, and every minute they're late, you start losing respect for them, and you start losing trust. And the minute you mistrust somebody, there's friction. And when there's too much friction, the whole relationship stops. So be respectful, show up on time, be prepared, do what you say you're going to do, and finish what you start, and clean up after you're done. Because you can do a job, any job, and do a great job, but you left a mess on the floor, or you left a mess on the ground, and that's all they see. You could do this great job, but if you just have respect, show up on time, be prepared to do the job, and then finish what you start and clean up after yourself. And at the end of it, you say, thank you and please. Thank you for letting me do this for you. I enjoyed doing this. It's been my honor to do this. It's been a pleasure to do this, whatever you want to do. But thank them. Be grateful for getting the job. And before you leave, say, is there anything else I can do for you before I leave this location? Because I'm willing to do it. I mean, it's incredible what happens when you do that. If you got two employees and one of them comes in the morning and he says hi to everybody and he smiles at everybody, kind of has a relationship you girls have with each other and laugh and get up, and he knows what he's supposed to do that day. He shows up he has respect for everybody, shows up on time. He knows what he's got to do and he's prepared to do it. He does what he says he's going to do, and then he cleans right up and stuff. And at the end of the week and gets your paycheck, you might say something like, thank you so much for letting me work here. I'm now able, because of what you paid me, to pay my rent, to pay my light, to pay my water, go on vacation, and to buy my kids Christmas. I just really appreciate working here with everything in me. And now you got another employee that comes in, doesn't smile at anybody. He comes in late. He doesn't know what he's going to do. He's not prepared. He doesn't finish what he starts.
Yes.
And he's not grateful at the end. Who are you going to give a raise to?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how good looking you are. It doesn't matter in high school if you were the number one football player and all the girls liked you or all the boys liked you because you was a cheerleader. None of that stuff counts in the outside world. Because at home, they will tolerate you not having respect, not getting there on time, not finishing what you start, and not being grateful. But when you get in the real world,
that's right.
You don't do that, you're going to get punished.
Right.
Right.
The 5 hinges are free to use, but they are very expensive not to use, because the world will punish you if you're not respectful to your boss, your customers. You don't get there on time and you're not prepared to do the job. You don't finish what you start and you don't clean up and not grateful. You will not get the promotion. These people are called hinge breakers. If you break these 5 hinges, the world will punish you. But if you keep them, the world will advance you.
Wow.
And if you're taking notes, just remember, note takers are history makers. So when you're reading the book, take notes. There you go. You can write that one down. Note takers are history makers.
That's it.
If you practice 5 hinges, they will be writing books about you. The community will love you. They'll make movies about you. I mean, we've been on the front of magazines. We've been in, they followed us around with cameras for about a week. And we didn't do it on purpose. They just did it.
Right.
Because, we've lived our whole life by these principles.
Amen. Amen.
Your philosophy in life is what you live by. You don't have
right.
to guess whether you're going to do something right or wrong. If you got the right philosophy, you go, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. In the Bible, it tells a bunch of stories gives the good examples and bad examples. Do you want your life to be written about, and you want to be a good example or a bad example? So the 5 hinges is just so critical. And you'll hear some great stories about the 5 hinges when you read the book. I just just a little. I'm glad you asked that question, by the way.
Well, I tell you what, I am glad that you were with us tonight. We thank you so, so much. We are telling our audience, and now they will be back. They didn't know it, but they will be back.
Say they got to come back. They got to come back.
Anytime.
So much. There is so much.
Do whatever y'all want to do.
Well, I tell you what, you'll be back. You'll be back.
We get honored.
Because I can tell by the comments that are coming in from the people who have read the book, the people who want to read the book, and those who are just hearing about the book.
I'd love to meet all of them.
We can all gain something from it. And Ruth, I'm gonna turn it over so you can close us out real quick. We are way over our time, but it has been a joy. I tell you, it has been a joy. Thank you so much.
Thank
Go,
you.
Ruth.
All right. So we are on social media. Follow, like, subscribe. We are, you can find us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Just look for Authors Up Show. That is where you'll find information about upcoming guests, where to find us on the internet. If you have any questions, please send us an email at authorsup@gmail.com. I
Mail.com.
blanked it out after not being here for 2 weeks. So send us an email if you want to be, if you have any questions, if you want to know how to be on the show, any of that. We're happy to answer any of your questions. You can find this current show. It will be up on YouTube and on podcasts, whatever your platform is of choice by Wednesday, or you can watch the replay on Facebook on Saturday. So you have no excuse not to know about this book. So
By the
that's
way,
all
if
I've
you'd
got.
like, if you'd like to get a hold of Simon Bailey, just let us know,
Yeah.
and we will recommend the show to him. And
Sure.
Please do.
also our friend that wrote The Go Giver. You know,
Oh,
Oh, I have that.
talk. Don't go
Go
anywhere.
give it. That's
Yes.
it.
Hold on.
Okay.
Yes.
That we got everything we needed to get.
Yes.
Not
That's
everything,
it. We're
but all
good.
our part that we can do.
Yes, we're good.
That's
if
it.
there's
That's
anything else we can do for y'all before we leave here.
well,
Yeah, no, just
Theresa and
hang
Frank,
on.
you hang on the line here as we close out for just a few minutes. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for getting the book, because I know you will. And thank you for just being who you are. And thank you for joining Authors Up. You never know what's going to happen when you tune in at 7 p.m. Come back next week. We're going to be right here, and we're going to have another special program for you that you are going to enjoy. So that's it for the night. God bless everyone. Have an absolutely amazing week. And we'll be back here next week at
Night,
7
Bronze girls.
p.m.
Good
And
night.
Victoria will be able to talk.
Yes, I will.
All right.